So, as I was just saying, every single pastor I spoke to, associate pastor, said the same thing. He had all the characteristics, Marisol, of a woman that had been sexually molested. Nothing was being done with malice. Nothing was being done to try to hurt you. Nothing was being done to try to hurt your father. Nothing. But the truth needed to come out. And it came out in a way that absolutely astounded me, blew me away in every way, shape, or form. But when it came to Katya, things changed. Whatever happened to you, Marisol, happened to you. But my concerns then, back then, was Katya. And I tried to get you to talk. Talk. You wouldn't do it. And then when you told me that Katya had had a dream, and in which the dream that Katya said told you that I was raping her, and actually that never happened. But why in the world would I? Katya, I think, would have been 12 when this was going on. Katya was born in 92. Yeah, 92. Okay. And this happened in 2004. So yeah, we're talking 12 years. She's a 12-year-old girl. Where does a 12-year-old girl get dreams of her father molesting her, Marisol? Where does those dreams come from? What has happened in her life to bring that out? When you told me that, I went back to all those pastors. Frank Sullivan. The only one I don't remember if I don't think I went to Carmen Gill. But I did go back to Aguilar, if I remember right, and all the pastors. They were very concerned. This is not right for 12-year-old little girl to be having dreams of her father raping her. Where's that coming from? I'll be frank with you, Marisol. I was getting ready to take a freaking gun and go hunting to protect my daughter. I didn't care what would happen to me. To protect my daughter, I go hunting. And you did nothing. Investigate nothing. But just like you did during our entire marriage, you always take the side of your father. And in this case, even if it meant sacrificing Katya, the possibility there, you did that as well. Now, I didn't stop with those pastors. I also talked to Armando Cruz. Before in relation to the dreams, everything. You know what? Armando Cruz said the same thing. From his knowledge and experience and everything in that arena as a pastor, that you were more than likely molested as a child or as a teenager, young girl. Talk to Jesse. I love Jesse, just like Armando. Jesse, great guy. Jesse. I heard he had gone to Arizona, worked with UPS or something. I don't know. Maybe he's back in Tulsa. I don't know. But anyway, I shared with them the stories. Now, where they misunderstood was I never said that your father did molest you. What I did say, and I'll say it right now, was that when everything pointed to how you were and everything pointed to the fact that you were molested. Something happened to you sexually as a child or as a teenager, young teenager. Yeah, I said that. I say it today. And I say this today, that when you take a look at the entire picture, the puzzle, as to if that did happen, everything points to your father being the one that did it. And I'm going to tell you something, because this videotape's going to end up in your father's hands somehow. I'm going to tell him something right now. If he touched you, and he dies without asking for your forgiveness in order that you get your healing, let me tell you something. He's damned. Because it's the reason why the destruction of the two marriages. He can't stand. Because, see, you're not his daughter. To him, you're his lover. And I'm going to tell you about that. After I talked to Armando, Jesse, all these pastors, I still couldn't believe that that had happened. So I went and I called the Tulsa rape line, and I found a psychologist that I spoke with. It was interesting. Naturally, the rape line's for women, and it ends up being a guy calling. Well, they do have guys call to report a rape or stuff like that, to their sister or whatever. And it got me to talking with the psychologist, and I briefly talked to her about this. And she said, "Look, I want you to come in." She said, "I want you to talk with me about all this." I said, "Okay, I'll do that." So I did, because we couldn't hold up the rape hotline to talk about this because too long. I don't even remember how long we talked on that line. I think we talked close to a half hour as it was, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I went to see her very soon after that call. And she had told me that when I came that she could only give me 15, 20 minutes, but she did want to talk to me. Do you know, if I remember correctly, I ended up being there almost 2 hours with her. Now, she asked me some questions about you that she wanted some answers. She said, "I'm going to ask you some questions about your wife, and I want you to tell me yes or no." I said, "Okay, no problems." And Marisol, you need to listen to this real carefully. And I hope and Holy Spirit, I ask right now that you bring to memory every single question that woman, the psychologist, not psychiatrist. She was not a psychiatrist, but she was a psychologist. Every question that she asked me concerning you. This is the first one she asked me. Now, I went through the whole thing with her. I mean, this is everything, So everything I've talked about right now and all that I've gone through. But I'm also, in towards the end or whenever, she says, I'm going to ask you some questions. And these are the questions she asked me about you. She said, "Does your wife have problems sleeping?" I said, "Yeah, always. She doesn't sleep well at all. Always tired." "No, yeah, definitely, always." Okay. "Does your wife have headaches?" I said, "Yep. Headaches, definitely. Has headaches most of the month." Okay. She said, "In relation to the sexual problems you've had with your wife, would your wife agree to come in for counseling?" I said, "No way. No way. It's not going to happen." She said, "Okay." She said, "Is your wife a perfectionist?" I said, "Yep. Yep, she's a perfectionist." I said, "I'll even give you an example." I said, "The kids and I, we can clean the house, sweep the living room and stuff like that. And to us, it looks clean. It looks fine. And she'll come home or back later from whatever. And let me tell you something, it's not good enough. She'll get that broom out. And let me tell you, I don't know how she does it, but she finds dirt anywhere and everywhere. I don't know where it comes from. Because to us and the kids, we're going, hey, it looks fine." She said, "Okay." She said, "Does your wife eat well?" I said, "No, not really. We as a family will eat together as a rule, but, we get a regular meal, so to speak, but hers is it's like bird food. There's practically very little on the plate." She's always said that it's because that she's always nibbling and all that when she's cooking, and that's when she's not very hungry. But I didn't go for that. She said she just doesn't eat well. Then she asked me another question. She said, "Has your wife ever been have eating disorders?" I said, "What?" And I didn't understand. I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Has your wife ever been like bulimic or the other one, you throw up or whatever?" And initially I said, no, no. And then I remembered. I said, wait a minute. My wife told me that when she was in college, she did one or the other, where you threw up or I don't know. I don't remember, but she had that for almost 2 years. She told me that. I said, "Yeah, she's had that." He goes, "Okay." And then she asked me another question. She said, "Does your wife remember everything about her life, her past?" I said, "No." My wife tells me that she can't remember some things pretty much before the age of 14, 15, something like that she just doesn't remember a lot of her childhood.